With the upcoming release of the Samsung S20, yeah, that's what they're going to call it if you didn't know. Samsung will be calling the next Galaxy flagship the S20, something about the beginning of a new decade, a new Samsung for a new decade. So everyone will be talking about the new features the phone is expected to have and possible leaks. In this video, we'll be talking about what we didn't like about the Galaxy S10 and new features to expect in the S20. S10 came with a lot of improvements over the S9 after holding out from Apple's answer to an almost full screen display, dreaded notch. S10 came with a hole punch in the S10 and S10e variants and a twin hole punch in the plus size model. The Galaxy S10 comes with usual stuff, a beautiful dynamic AMOLED display with a very high contrast ratio and resolution, 1440 by 3040p, a flagship processor Snapdragon 855 at least as of February 2019. The global variant features an Exynos 9820, storage option of up to 1TB and 12GB of RAM, very nice speaker designed by AKG, and yes, a headphone jack. This would unfortunately be the last Samsung flagship to feature this, as even the Note series, aka No Compromises, doesn't come with a headphone jack. Looks like Apple one. It scored pretty high in benchmarks, though it didn't beat the OnePlus 7 Pro and Xiaomi Mi 9, both featuring the same processor. I've been using the S10 Plus for some time now and the S10 for about 2 weeks, and here are my dislikes. 1. Overheating. I wouldn't say overheating, but after a few minutes of COD mode, it's definitely very warm. In the S10 Plus, it's not much of a problem because it's physically larger and that helps with heat dissipation. I found myself needing to cool it down before charging it in fear of damaging the battery. That leads us to the next one. Battery life. Here again, S10 Plus has a much higher battery life as you would expect with its 4100 mAh battery, but this is better, not excellent. The battery life of 6 to 8 hours, it falls short of the full day battery requirements that most phones can provide. The S10 on the other hand has a 34 mAh battery, but with smaller display it has about the same battery life. The S10e is generally the worst as it's smaller and with a much smaller battery. I didn't really use S10e, so I'll just say that you should expect slightly worse performance in most categories. Charging speed. Today, fast charging is a norm. S10 Plus and S10 come with a 15-watt power adapter. This is sad. When the OnePlus 7 comes with a 30-watt adapter, Xiaomi Mi 9 with 27-watt adapter, and the Realme X2 Pro with an amazing 50-watt Super VOOC charger that can charge a phone from 0 to 100% in about 35 minutes. Yes, 35 minutes. You see, with such a charging time, an excellent battery isn't really necessary, but the S10 fails to deliver on both fronts. The fact that they released the same phone with different processors. Yes, I'm talking about the Snapdragon 855 for the phones sold in US and China, and the Exynos 9820 for the global version. It's been proven countless times that the Snapdragon variant is faster, and it's quite unfair for global consumers to pay the same price or sometimes higher for an inferior tech or a version that performs worse. I'm afraid this problem won't change in the S20 as the Exynos is Samsung's in-house processor and they have to sell it somehow. The Fingerprint scanner. Again, Samsung would have to learn from OnePlus 7 Pro, Mi 9 or the Mi 9 Pro, Realme X2 Pro, which all have faster fingerprint sensors. I feel this cycle has been repeating itself. It's not too slow, but it's obvious that it can be better, especially for Samsung. Updates. All these phones release updates from Android 9. They launched with Android 10 months before Samsung. They're popular for quick and regular updates and support their old devices, something that Samsung doesn't excel in. Samsung started rolling out updates to the Android 10 in December 23. OnePlus 7 Oxygen OS build of Android 10 came out in October Mi 9 MIUI ports of Android 10 around October 2. Camera. When I look at the pictures and videos from the S10 Plus and compare them to those of the iPhone 11, Samsung Note 10, Mate 30, Pixel 4, or the Mi Note 10 Pro, basically the best camera phones right now, I can almost see how quickly tech progresses. The phone was released in February 2019, and all these after September. You can almost forget that a few months can bring about a lot of technological improvements. Let me spoil you with some of the clips and pics from the S10 Plus. Yeah, I almost forgot. My problem with the S10 camera is actually the front camera. Like, I can compare the selfies from this phone with Redmi Note, which is about 5 times cheaper. I will be reviewing this phone in an upcoming video. The color science in the S10 Plus is generally better, but I can use Gcam on Redmi for much better results. The image stabilization is nice, but sometimes makes videos look robotic, but at least it's there. The result is even sadder when you think about the fact that this is what you get, even with a twin hole punch design. Lastly, display refresh rate. The S10 and S10 Plus come with a plain old 60Hz panel. The OnePlus 7 has a 90Hz, so Samsung, you can do better. I mean, you make displays for everyone. Okay, that's enough of phone shaming. The S10 was a great smartphone at launch, and we enjoyed many of its features like Bixby one-handed mode. But as months passed, just 4 months, it started looking bad as tech grew around it. The only problem is that 2 of the phones I've been mentioning came out around the same time, OnePlus 7 Pro and Mi 9, so the S10 could have been better. Let's have a quick rundown of the expected specs of the S20. A Snapdragon 855 processor, a curvier, boxier shape, I don't know if that's the word, 108 megapixel main camera. This is the same as the one on the Mi Note 10 or Xiaomi CC9. There will be 5 cameras arranged in a rectangular camera array, 90Hz in base version, and even 120Hz display in Pro model, faster charging. Expect more info about the S20 in an upcoming video, as there will be more leaks by then. It will be interesting to see how the S20 will compare against the Xiaomi Mi 10, which will also launch in February and may be the first flagship to launch this year. Also, expect the Huawei P40 this February. The OnePlus 8 will be launching sometime in April, and if leaks are true, it will be a beast. The lineup for this year is really exciting, and I can't wait to review them. If you love this video, please hit the like button, and if you want more of my content, consider subscribing. You should turn on post notifications so that you'll be notified when I upload a video. I have some amazing content coming up, and we can always have a chat in the comment section. This is the Mogul Reviews, and thanks for watching.